support for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So listen, what I also forgot to mention is, do you know what today is? No, it's not our anniversary. It is the start of the NBA season. And that's like Christmas for me, low key. Although, if today was Christmas, I would have gotten coal in my stocking because the Lakers lost to Denver, on ring ceremony night. How unfair. I know you guys want to start with celebrities, but we already lost to them in the Western Conference Finals. No need for us to have to relive the trauma tonight and then lose again. It's okay. It was a game. It's just night one. The Warriors played the Phoenix Suns. They lost to, they got their butt whooped a little bit. When I left home, it was like the Suns were up by 15. So we are in for a lot this season. It is season number 21 for LeBron James. That is crazy to me. All of this stuff, talking about Snoop being in the industry 30 years, Usher almost 30 years, LeBron's been in the league for 21. All of that just equals old to me. Everything is old. I don't understand it. I don't respect it. I don't want it. I don't like it. So listen, Snoop Dogg, in his conversation with Lotto, he said, "What happened to your favorite rappers from the 90s? Where are they at? Most of them are gone. I'm probably the only one that's still around."
He means relevantly speaking.
I guess so. But
there's Ice Cube.
There's Ice Cube. Well, to me, there's a lot, actually. I feel like their generation, strangely enough, not all of them, but when they hit their stride, because there's Nas too, right?
Nas.
Still releasing stuff. I mean, Jay came out in 96. Common's more of an actor now than a rapper, but he drops stuff every now and again. But I actually feel like these, there's Med and Reth.
Med and Meth.
Meth and Red. I don't know how I combinize that up. Look, it's late. It's tongue twisters happening. I'm not really understanding, but Method Man and Red Man are both over 50. So I feel like that is one of the actual benefits of that Gen X kind of era. They seem to have been able to put longevity in the mix. And I actually think it's because of the dues that they had to pay early on, because they had to put in their paces touring early, doing a lot of club dates and then shows. It's just a different respect for their craft, which I think he kind of was getting to. But he also said, most of them are gone. I'm probably the only one that's still around. And it's because of the things that they did or the business opportunities that they didn't capitalize on. So you've got to be a smarter businesswoman and say, okay, the women are winning right now in the music industry. That is a first for the women to be in the foreground, right? And so Lotto asked Snoop his thoughts on women having such a big influence in rap right now. And side note, happy birthday to Snoop. It was a couple days ago. He's 52 years old. It's a lot of 50-year-old rappers out here rocking. Nas just turned 50 in September, the birth year.
Dropped a classic. Legendary album to end out a career on.
Is it? Why are you ending him? Did he say he was ending it out?
I believe he did. Don't
did
quote me on that, but I believe this was allegedly his last album.
Okay, I can see that, but listen, one thing I will say, though, Nas never been a strong performer. Maybe back in the day, but no, Nas
I never seen him perform.
Listen, I've seen him perform a couple times, and it's been cool, But there have been some times where you're like, Nas, you got to give us more. I would like more from you as a hip hop
It
legend.
feels like he's too muted. Like he like.
Just not a good show. I just think that it's something he probably didn't put a lot of emphasis or effort into.
His pin game is strong, so I could see,
I mean, and the thing is, when I think about Nas, I think hip hop, and Nas definitely came out in the boom bap era where, guys were in the club with backpacks close to the speakers, really getting in there for the lyrics and stuff. So their performance from that aspect, a little different type of expectation.
So who would you say, out of all the hip hop performers you've seen, who would you say are the top 3?
Like from back in the time, I think Jay puts on a really good show. I don't
Really?
know if it's
Okay.
just because of the catalog or whatever, but always high energy. Um, I'm a West Coast girl, so I'm gonna say Snoop
Yeah.
because they got the bangers. You're gonna get the Lolos. You're gonna get a couple of sea walks across the stage, some cameos. Really enjoy it. Um, Listen, anything involving Bad Boy. Like I went to that Bad Boy tour in 2016 and that was an incredible show. Yeah, I mean, cheesecake, cheesecake, cheesecake. Diddy had the band walk into Brooklyn to get Junior's cheesecake on
Give me my cheesecake
making the
uptown.
band back in the day. And you remember when he was putting Danity Kane and Day 26 through their paces on making the band. I, he's hardcore, but it shows. Think about the Locks. Think about the Locks and their performance, what Jada did on that Versus, right? The breath control, the performance thing. They give that every night, right? DMX, before he passed away,
Man.
if you never got the pleasure to see DMX live in concert, it was most certainly an otherworldly experience. Like the way that he commanded the crowd with just his voice. I remember I saw him like way back in the day in the late 90s, outdoor Irvine Amphitheater. I forget what it's called now. It's out there. But that was when he used to start the show like saying a prayer, and DMX has his rough voice, and he like flicked the lighter and you could hear the lighter flick, and he takes this long drag of a cigarette, and just the crowd was just there every moment, everything that he was doing. Just it's incredible. I feel like I was fortunate enough to come up through an era where performance was still very, very important. And if you could not perform, it would make it hard on you. And I'm really sad that this era has lost that aspect and don't seem to have as much. Well, Offset is bringing it back, and I think that is why. Shout out to him. His album, I think top 5. It's debuting, which is pretty good. Like, listen, we're talking back in the day, you had to physically get up and go to the record store. You guys can be lazy now. Streaming has changed the game. Everything is passive. You don't have to put a lot of action into being a fan for a lot of these things. And so I think people take a lot of aspects of performing and what it means to be an artist for granted because they don't respect it. Maybe it's because they don't have to go through the same paces. We would wait. We wouldn't see. You couldn't just pop on something and see your favorite at any given time, at any given day. We would wait months to see one performance. And God forbid if you didn't have a VCR to record it and go back and look at it, or you missed it, or you weren't home, you were just
Out of luck.
out of luck. Yeah. I was trying to make sure I didn't curse because, my mind was.
I remember one of my former bosses was telling me about performances like that, and one thing that comes to mind is like even how y'all used to tape the award shows, like the Source Awards. Like he still has that Source Awards on tape from, y'all ain't got no love for the West Coast when Snoop.
The East Coast ain't got no love for Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Death Row.
They were like,
well, let it be known then.
They saw it. They were like, is this a skit?
Listen, and that same show, remember, that is when Dre and Big Boy won from Outkast, and the same
They
thing
were
happened.
mad about that.
Yeah, the South got something to say. That happened at the same Source Award show. So, I mean,
legendary moments.
they were. I remember when the Source Awards, like, it had gone away for a long period of time after, that, and they brought it back and they had it here in LA, and it was at the Pasadena Civic Auditorium or whatever it was. And I'll never forget, a fight broke out inside of the theater. And there was some guy in a wheelchair, and while everybody else was running up the road trying to get out of there, he was in his wheelchair rolling down the road really fast to go jump into the fray. I was like, what is he gonna do? Listen, wild times, wild business, like, it just.
That's a great homie. Man, what? I'm in a wheelchair and I'm about to get in this fight for you. That's a great homie.
Listen, they are. Shout out to Fahima. She mentioned Talib Kweli and Mos Def, that they're still doing things. I think they changed their names, right? I know Mos Def did, but I think, didn't Kweli as well?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I know he was having some drama on the internet with Twitter, and someone was accusing him of harassing him. That's another story, though. Fahima also mentioned, she said, isn't DMX more so 2000 than the 90s? Absolutely not. DMX in 1998, or was it 99? I believe it was 98, was the first rapper to have 2 #1 albums in a calendar year. Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood, and his first album. So that happened in 98, 99, the kickoff of the Shiny Suit era and Def Jam's other resurgent run. Because think about it, they had Jay, that's when they were thinking about doing, was it going to be Murder Inc. or whatever? I forget the 3 of them, but it was going to be DMX, Jay-Z, and Ja Rule in a super group. They were on the cover of like XXL or something like that. And they were all, well, no, DMX was signed to Def Jam, but the Lox and Rough Riders, like the Lox were signed to Bad Boy, Rough Rider was signed to Interscope, so they were all spread out and over the place and making their money. But DMX absolutely was the top rapper in 98, with Jay a close second, I feel.
DMX was the man. Like, I think that, like, within the last, like, of course, obviously with this passing, there's more respect put on his name now, but, before that, for the past 15 years, he wasn't necessarily getting his flowers the way, like, compared to the height of his success, like how far into the stratosphere he was in, as far as those albums and the acting. They got to put some respect on DMX's name for sure.
You really do. Now that is someone who, acting-wise, I thought did a really good job.
Excellent actor, very natural.
Very natural, very different types of feelings and emotions. You didn't just feel like, oh, DMX, we're just going to have him play the thug guy and that's it. He could give you some range, and that was important. Shout out to you, Fahima. We always vibe and check in. I think something else that is important from that era that you think about, along with DMX and like Jay and those kind of acts, is that they also toured together. You think about the Hard Knock Life tour. What is the film? Oh, the film. They all had concert films at that time because there was a Death Row. Was it The Show? Maybe it was The Show.
I think it was The Show.
And so, I just think that the act of performing, and also the act of performing in front of a live audience, I think with this generation too, because so much happens through the phone that they don't know how to connect to an audience. And that's why they can't control the audience, because one thing, that's why I think Doja Cat is such a great performer, because she spent a lot of time doing club dates and smaller performances, so you get the energy for a crowd. You understand what works. I think that's why DJs make such great producers if they're actively in the club, because they understand the crescendo, they understand the buildup, they understand how to push a crowd and how to get them engaged. And I think because so much happens through the phone now, that interpersonal connection is lacking, and you see it in the performances because they don't know when to stay in the pocket and when to veer off, how to get the crowd engaged. And I think those are things that you can only learn from doing your reps with live performance. And you got to practice.
That's how you get your weight up.
We don't have no talent shows no more. Nobody doing the local talent shows.
Because it's too quick to get roasted on Instagram. It's too quick for someone to post something and you become a meme. Don't nobody want that.
No,
you know,
people
fall
want to
off the
go
stage,
viral
you
right
become
away.
a
I'll
meme.
do my little TikTok dance in my living room, and we're all good. We're in there. I'm ready to roll it out.
Dangerous era to make yourself vulnerable than right now. Even getting into fights, you can't even get into a fight without thinking, oh, someone might record this, and now the L gonna live forever.
Listen, back in the day, you could go home, escape from your problems for a little bit if you had a bully, and not have to worry about it. Nowadays, it's 24/7. You can never get away. Even if you're not online, they could be online talking about you, and somebody's like, they're talking about you. They're talking about you. I feel really bad for this generation. Must be hard. When we come forward, more trending topics and headlines, we're going to get into what DJ Envy's lawyer said and how he plans to participate in the case and what he says that he lost in the process. All of that and more. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. A Baltimore, Maryland judge has sentenced 16-year-old black squeegee worker Tavon Scott to 15 years for manslaughter in the shooting death of Timothy Reynolds near the Inner Harbor. Former President Obama says an Israeli ground invasion of the Gaza Strip could backfire if Palestinian civilians are not protected. Israel has been gearing up for an attack, calling up more than 300,000 reservists after a Hamas attack this month killed more than 1,000 Israelis. Elon Musk thinks a World War III is possible. The billionaire said in a talk on the social media platform X that the war between Israel and Hamas, along with Russia's continued war in Ukraine, raises the potential of a third world war. And that is the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com. Stay safe out there. Have a great Tuesday.
Prime members save more at your Amazon Fresh store. As a Prime member, you'll save 10% on hundreds of items in store, from organic produce to pantry staples to handcrafted pizza. Head to Amazon.com/fresh locations and find a store near you.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Joey from Vermont, a farmer trying to get through the winter. Adriana from South Carolina, a single mother living paycheck to paycheck. Liam from Ohio, an injured father struggling to provide for his family. Hi, I'm Shanola Hampton, and I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the Amera I Can Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the Amera I Can program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The Amera I Can Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriICanCommunity.partners. That's AmeriICanCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Learn more at chase.com/business premier. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Account subject to credit approval. Restrictions and limitations apply. Cards are issued by JP Morgan Chase Bank. Any member FDIC.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
And when I left the oven on, we decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan.
Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
These are my confessions. Just when I thought I said all I can say, my chick on the side says she got one on the way. These are my confessions. Man, I'm thrown and I don't know what to do. I guess I gotta keep part two of my confessions.
Welcome in, welcome back in. You are locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. You know, people have been making a lot of confessions in these memoirs, right? I don't know. The interesting thing about it, it's like a catch-22, right? Because people are always like, oh my God, I'm so burnt out. Why are they talking? Yet some of these topics and subject matters have been rumors or in the ecosystem for years and years and years, and people have been discussing them and talking about them. But when the said individual comes in and gives the real story, at least according to them, or their version of events, then, you know, sometimes we have a problem with it. So I think that's kind of not unfair. And I mean, realistically, close your phone, change the channel. You don't have to be so involved. You like it. You just want to complain. Admit it. Shout out to Fahima in the chat. She says Talib Kweli was holding the hashtag group ADOS accountable, and their followers contrived to get him banned from Twitter. Was part of the something. I know both of his parents. Okay. I wasn't sure what was going on with that. I know he had a lot of drama. There was a woman that claimed he was harassing her. Talib was actually married to a friend of mine for a very, very long time, DJ EQ. So shout out to her. Hope they're doing well. At any rate, listen, DJ Envy, I know that you have heard the stories about what is going on with his business partner, Cesar Pena, being arrested, saying that he was, you know, basically robbing Peter to pay Paul in this real estate situation. And there were rumors that the iHeart offices were raided. TMZ refuted those claims. We're unsure what actually happened, if there was actually electronic equipment taken in. But we do know that something is going on, and, you know, Envy is involved either by proxy or was deliberately involved. Well, he is maintaining his innocence. Megan Cuniff, she is a court reporter. She really became popular as far as, you know, with us in our community covering the Tory Lanez Megan Thee Stallion trial. And so a lot of people have been requesting that she get involved in what is happening and find out the details of this Cesar Pena DJ Envy situation. But this is a federal trial, so keep in mind, very different. But she did reach out to Envy's lawyer, Massimo D'Angelo, and he said that Envy is actually one of Caesar's Ponzi scheme's victims himself. He said, obviously, Envy is going to be assisting and cooperating fully to get not only his money back, but the money back for the other victims. And listen, these were pretty large sums of money that we're talking about. We're not talking about like 5, 10,000, whatever. The alleged amounts of money are in, excess of $200,000, $300,000. So significant amounts of money. Envy's lawyer said that he invested $500,000 and didn't see any money back. Although people are, of course, people are fast. The internet, you might be quick, but the internet is faster. So they are going around and pulling old videos of Envy and Caesar when they were going and talking about flipping the properties and all the envelopes with the money from the rent checks and who did what in the business. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, only because how much is influence worth in this situation? Did these people actually have conversations with Envy and think that they were investing in him? Were they just comfortable because they knew of his relationship with them? Is that legally enough to make him responsible? Just depends on the type of evidence they have. But when the feds step in, you're pretty much done. Their conviction rate is like 98%. You're not really going to.
Feds have always already built the case against you.
Yeah, you're not really going to get out of anything. You just try and make it through it, I guess, the best way you know how. DJ Envy's attorney, D'Angelo, also said, Mr. D'Angelo is his last name, he paid out substantial sums similar to some of the other investors who thought they were getting all of that back. So Envy is yet to be charged with anything. He hasn't been arrested. There are rumors that they are quickly trying to delete videos off of the internet and YouTube. There have been videos where different people were on the show, The Breakfast Club, asking him questions about the business. They've like, who was that guy with you? I don't understand how this works. Break this down for me. Y'all going to jail. Things of that nature. So, at the time, Envy brushed it off to people not understanding real estate properly, not knowing how these things worked, and just being, trigger shy. But the thing to also keep in mind is that his business partner, Caesar, learned real estate investment while he was in jail for fraud. So, again, I believe in second chances.
I didn't even know that. Are you for real?
Yeah. That's where he learned the real estate game.
His charge, the reason he was in there was for fraud.
I believe so, yeah. So, and he learned a new game while he was in there. And look, I believe in second chances. The whole point of prison, jail is supposed to be rehabilitative, right? It's supposed to be punishment, and you're supposed to be rehabilitated so that you can come out and be a productive member of society and reintegrate back into the system, right? So, you deserve a shot, but dog, to me, it seems like they just got a little he just got a little too greedy and was trying to expand way too quickly. Everybody's like, yeah, your credit. Yeah, you don't have to use your money to buy this property. And the thing is, these are not wrong concepts, but there is a proper order, and you can't resell the same portion or percentage of a property several times over and try and use that money to pay the other person back and then float yourself on there. And I'm gonna just do this till I get on my feet. They just were way too public to me to be as sloppy and reckless as it appears that it was. All the videos, all the seminars. I don't know. Good luck to him, though. I saw that Caesar did a live tonight. This is one thing I will say. Charlemagne told Envy, hey, your lawyer said don't talk. You probably shouldn't. Listen to your lawyer. The court of public opinion, it's not going to help you now. Talk about it if you win, when you win. Right now, respect that, because I don't believe that they're doing themselves a service by speaking to the public currently. Caesar got on live tonight. He was very supportive of Envy. I didn't get a chance to listen to it, but I just think that that is reckless behavior, right? I just, it doesn't make sense to me considering the situation that you are in currently. You know, Fahima added, Cesar Pena reportedly continued to sell the same New Jersey property to multiple people. They believe Pena because Envy and he did real estate seminars. Yeah, I mean, of course, like sometimes you're more likely to say, oh, okay, I know him and he does business with them. Sure, it must be cool. I don't, obviously without knowing the details of the deal, like without any further knowledge, you do look at people sometimes and say, really, gee, just because you think that person's famous, you're going to skip over all common sense and just dive in with those sums of money. So I do question a bit about that, but, you know, maybe they felt like the relationship was stronger. Urban Spencer says the smarter thing would have been to take the seminar info and get your own realtor lender. I think that they did allegedly a bit of all of that. They started their company. They claim to own over 2,000 properties and well over, I think that on one of the videos, they claim to own close to, and this may be an exaggeration, right? I have to fact check myself because I didn't include this, but about $200 million worth of real estate property for their company. You know, they had a lot of units. They were supposed to be building, you know, flipping some other areas that, you know, into the retail on the bottom, housing on the top, refurbishing and all of these different things. Then they were going to do the smaller seminars and so forth. Because here's the thing too, a lot of people are like, yeah, you were taking advantage of your black and brown brothers and sisters. But the people that are being accused, well, the people that are saying that they are victims of this scheme, they are very wealthy. Like I said, this is not people that were mixed use, retail on the bottom, housing on the top. So, which are becoming very popular in LA. And hello, we're not New York or San Francisco. And I agree with that. Realize that you're trying to turn us into such, but we're a car town. We're not getting on public transportation like that. I'm not saying the public transportation isn't used, but we are not abandoning our cars, period, to do that.
Go be around other people on the public transit. That's not LA culture.
Not at all. You can't listen to your own music. You can't let the sun shine in through the sunroof because you know everybody has a sunroof in LA. Right. What are you talking about? You can't see the great weather on the train. It's not happening. I don't know. I think that it is a sad situation because on one hand, you do want people to reach back and give that knowledge in areas of life that maybe you weren't considering, you weren't exposed to. You didn't have the benefit of parents or an aunt or, you know, someone in school that could show you these different ways to gain wealth. You know, we talk a lot about sports and entertainment as being the primary things that Black people gravitate towards and look towards to make wealth. So someone showing you about real estate and how you can pool your resources and come together should not be a negative thing, but taking advantage of people getting greedy, because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like basically they got greedy, you know, and all the showing off and things of that, and the flexing, the fronting. They say that, you know, there might be some deletion of some posts on social media, too much excess, too much showing off. I'm not sure. Again, I think the heart initially was in the right place, but greed kicks in and nobody's immune. When we come forward, we'll have more trending topics and headlines. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
We're celebrating 1 year of the K. From checking out the vibrant art and diverse dining in Leimert Park to cheering on your favorite team in Inglewood, you can choose your own adventure when you ride the Metro K-Line. Leave the car at home and go Metro. Visit metro.net/K-Line.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California and around the country to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. As part of JP Morgan Chase commitment, they are taking action to help improve financial wealth and access to banking in the Black community, helping more people open low-cost checking and savings accounts, hosting community seminars with supporting Black-led institutions by building awareness about financial investments, hiring community managers, and opening community center branches like Crenshaw, Inglewood, and downtown LA. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Get the tools to help reach your financial goals. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So we're talking DJ Envy and his business partner, Cesar Pena, and the fact that Envy's attorney has said that Envy will be fully participating, that he was scammed as well. You know, you think about it like all the way, you think about back during the pandemic and like those blessing circles and those susus and things like that. I hate that when we figure out, and of course, not all of us, okay? Not all of us, not everyone, but I hate that it is such an idea that, you know, you can't necessarily trust the advice being given as genuine, as really just wanting to help the next man because people are trying to scam you and get your money. I hate that because it is vital information, and it is thing that could change people's lives if done the right way, right? And if the right group comes together and can move forward, it's impactful and it's important. You know, buying the block is a real thing. So, you know, I hope it gets resolved peacefully. Urban Spencer says the same scams resurface over and over. They sure do. And sometimes I wonder, you know, I guess it's desperation maybe. If you're in a space, you're like, well, I'm just going to try. I'm just going to see, maybe. But the interesting thing, like I said, about the situation with Envy and these people is that while some of them, I guess, were small business owners, as Fahima has indicated and so forth, it's just that they were somewhat established in the space as well. So if even you got the wool pulled over your eyes, what does that say for an innocent person who's just kind of trying to understand and figure this out? How do they know that the information they're receiving is valid? How can they fact check? Because obviously they don't have anyone that can really give them advice about this, because then they would have learned about it before. So it's a hard thing where you want to advance yourself, but you feel like you can't. The people that you want to trust that are around you, that sound like you, that look like you, that can speak to you in terms that are familiar with, are also out to get you too. Forensic accountant in the chat says there's typically a gatekeeper that facilitates financial crime, a lawyer, banker, accountant, etc. Yeah, I mean, there has to be someone that is going to make sure the paperwork is somewhat functional, or gets through or passes it through. It's just really tragic. It's really hard to, think about all of those hardworking people that got beat, that were just trying to make a better way for themselves and their lives. So, shout out to Envy. Probably gonna have to sell a couple of those cars, something. And then to add fuel to the fire, Erica Mena has done an interview with Carlos King. Erica Mena of Love and Hip Hop fame. She was on Love and Hip Hop New York, I believe Love and Hip Hop Atlanta too for a time period. She's just recently got divorced from Safari, and she's had her own controversy, as she called Jamaican artist Spice a blue monkey on a recent episode, and there was a lot of controversy surrounding that. Well, she's recently done an interview with Carlos King, who is a former producer on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, also created R&B Divas, Married to Huntsville, or one of those shows. Might be jacking up the name. At any rate, in the interview, Erica is also talking again about her infidelity with DJ Envy back in the day, and how she didn't know he was married, and that whole situation. So just, bad time for Envy right now. And then, of course, last week, there was the posting of an iHeart position for a Breakfast Club host. Now, most people thought that it was just them finally posting Angela Yee's job. She has her own show, Way Up with Yee, that has been going for a time period, and maybe they were finally trying to fill it. But some are saying, that's for Envy's job. We don't know. We'll have to see how it all turns out. But the timing is all incredibly inconvenient. So, shouts out to you, Envy. If you didn't know and you are a victim, I hope it all works out for you, pal. And if you did know and you were taking advantage of people and allowing your friend to scam others on behalf of your name, dog, you deserve whatever is coming to you. But I'm going to take your word for it that you didn't know. And hopefully you get your resolution and healing as well. Because I would be unhappy if a friend lost me $500,000. It would be a problem.
And my reputation.
Man, because it's going to be really hard. Because, again, we know that people in 2023 just look at headlines. So let's say there are some details that come out later on down the line that absolve Envy of responsibility. There's still people that are never, ever, ever going to, one, believe that he wasn't involved, and two, not take the time to get into the details to discover what the real story may be. And that's sad. But, here we are. All right, the last story of the night. Now, we talked about this a couple of months ago briefly, but it is coming up again. Dwight Howard was accused of sexual assault a few months ago by a man who said that they met via Instagram, social media, and have been communicating. Well, I guess maybe I'm not sure if it was a deposition or what is happening, but Radar Online has managed to obtain the messages from Dwight and the man, Stephen Harper. That is the man that is accusing him. And Dwight admitted to meeting up with the man that he met on Instagram and the hookup. And the guy is accusing him of assault and saying that he tried to force him into an unconventional threesome. Threesomes are always unconventional technically, but, there are a lot of details, a lot to get into. But Dwight essentially admits that while he was hanging out with the guy and interested in a sexual relationship, the accusations are false. And he said that he never participated in false imprisonment, emotional stress, or anything like that. He's denying the claims and stated that Harper was aware of the other person, a trans woman named Kitty, that was there to participate in this threesome. Yes, a lot. So, but he said that Harper knew, and now Harper's clout chasing and trying to get money. And he also told the court that all three did consensually intimate things. Nothing was forced, and Harper's claims are false. So we'll have to see what ultimately ends up happening. I actually am going to side with Dwight. It sounds like this man is trying to take advantage of the fact that Dwight, is not necessarily open about his situation, but he is now. So I hope that Dwight is in a good place. If he did not do this to this man, and that he feels okay and is loved and receiving the support that he needs, because we always talk about wanting people to be honest, and then they're honest and we shun them. So good luck with that. Listen, thank you for rocking with us, VIPs, for checking in. When we come forward, you are going to hear the best of KBLA. And I hope that you have had an amazing night. Back here again tomorrow, 9 p.m. Pacific time, for more trending topics. And I said Pacific, just so we know. For more trending topics and headlines, thank you for rocking with RSVP with Jill Munroe. Have an amazing night.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
We thank you for sharing a part of your Friday morning with us here on the Black Information Network. I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the latest from the Black Information Network. A U.S. soldier who crossed into North Korea is being charged with desertion and other crimes. Private Second Class Travis King was kicked out of North Korea in September, 2 months after he ran across the heavy militarized border with South Korea, where he had been stationed. The African-American soldier is now in custody at Fort Bliss. In California, the Oceanside Post Office may be renamed after a black pioneer. Representative Mike Levin is pushing the bipartisan bill to rename the post office after the late Charlesetta Reese Allen. Allen, an African-American, was the first president of the North San Diego County branch of the NAACP. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
$10 says your local Staples now accepts Amazon returns. Now when you return an Amazon order at Staples, you receive a coupon for $10 off your next Staples purchase of $30 or more. Exclusions apply. Staples, your new favorite place for Amazon returns.
Is this the This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
In case you didn't know, there's a high school in South LA called Maya Angelou High School. The school, built in 2011, is named after the legendary author, poet, and civil rights activist. Maya Angelou's football team is 8-0. They're closing in on the first undefeated regular season in school history and a spot in the City Division II playoffs. Maya Angelou goes for 9-0 tonight at Sotomayor. NFL owners gave Commissioner Roger Goodell a 3-year extension. That should give him more than enough time to keep working on the NFL's sad hiring practices of black head coaches. Only 3 of the NFL's 32 teams have a black head coach. Revenge game tomorrow for USC. The Trojans play Utah at the Coliseum. Utah beat the Trojans in last season's Pac-12 title game. The loss knocked the Trojans out of the college football playoffs. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader. KBLA Talk 1580. Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcasts of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
It's a different world at Pasadena City College. Come find out why during PCC's On the Yard HBCU Caravan, happening Tuesday, October 24th from 4 to 6 p.m. on the Colorado Boulevard campus of Pasadena City College. Over 20 historically black colleges and universities will be on campus, and some colleges will be offering on-the-spot admissions. You heard that right, on the spot. All you need to do is bring your unofficial transcripts. So come to PCC's On the Yard HBCU Caravan for the opportunity to win scholarships and prizes, enjoy some mouth-watering DD's Chicken Cat Shack, and tasty burgers from Fat Boys for free. It's all happening on Tuesday, October 24th. The HBCU Caravan is proudly presented by PCC's Transfer Center, Office of Inclusion, Equity, Diversity, and Justice, and the California Community Colleges, Chancellor's Historically Black Colleges, and Universities Initiative. For more information, visit pasadena.edu/HBCU or call 626-585-7287.
Is that India? What happened to her hair? Little girl with the pressing curl. Age 8, I got a Jerry curl. 13 and I got a relaxer. I was a source of so much laughter. At 15 when it all broke off. 18 and I went on natural. February 2002 I went on and did what I had to do. Because it was time to change my life. To become the woman that I am inside. 97 dreadlocks all gone. I looked in the mirror for the first time and saw that, hey, I am not my head. I am not this skin. I am not your expectations. No, no. I am not my head. I am not this skin. I am the soul that lives within. What she do to her hair? Oh no, it look crazy. I like it.
KBLA Talk 1580.
I wouldn't go that
Yeah. Okay, well, we do have a lot to talk about. My girlfriend, who's also quite an accomplished business person, she's an HBCU graduate herself. Speaking of HBCU, she's a Bison and a marketing expert. She was trained as such, but also one of the premier leading knowledgeable sources around natural products, natural hair. On top of that, she's an activist. She's on the executive council of the Umoja Food Collective, a network of values-driven Black-owned food businesses advancing food justice to improve Black health and increase Black wealth in L.A. and all of the communities that they serve. I am talking about April Sims. Good morning.
Good morning, Dominique, and good morning, KBLA family. It is good to connect with you, and it was so good to speak with Miles this morning, and I hear he just dropped 2 new EPs this week, and so happy to see his progress in his field as well, so I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I think it was yesterday. Miles dropped new music, and you can find it at Miles Low Music. Speaking of supporting Black entrepreneurs, you can find it wherever you get music, Spotify, Apple Music, Instagram, wherever you go. He is there. So I'm glad you mentioned that. And I know you do a lot of things, but I wanted to start on top with hair. Speaking of Miles is growing his hair out. And so, this issue of like natural hair and hair transitions and summer hair, winter hair, fall hair, they're all kind of, we always think of it as women's, and you see it in Essence and, Vogue and such. But those are really issues for dudes too, right? Especially Black men.
Absolutely. And, Dominique, the other thing is that brothers care just as much about their crown as sisters do. And their hair care is vitally important as well. And I'm happy to see that more men are really actively taking care of their hair, using good products and maintaining good, healthy hair regimens. I have a 34-year-old son, and, he is just as particular. And
he has beautiful locks like his mama.
He does, and his locks are longer than mine. Go figure about that. I keep cutting mine, but yeah, he doesn't cut his. But he's just as into his hair care as my daughter's is into hers, and they wear their hair very differently, but they both wear their hair naturally.
Your beautiful daughter, Asha, who's part of our crew here at KBLA, I should add. She is the booking coordinator for this show, and that's why she didn't book you, I did. You can't
That's right.
You can't book your own mama. That's
right.
not allowed.
That's right. But we have so many. Our hair care industry is really going through a serious transition. I don't know if you want to get into that.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Nappy Wood recently did an event that I was part of at the Ontario Convention Center. I think it was last month or late August, and it was wonderfully attended. There were a lot of barbers there doing hairstyles for anyone that needed a barber. There were people doing braids, people were doing weaves. There was hair educators, products being sold, and it was wonderful to see because of the pandemic, we really haven't had the opportunity to gather in mass to discuss things like our hair and our beauty. And I was happy to see a lot of brothers and sisters came out from Los Angeles. A lot of vendors and patrons came out from LA to participate as well. But we're also seeing, Dominique, there's a lot of Black-owned businesses that are no longer Black-owned, that we still think are Black-owned.
So that's what you mean by
transition.
transition. That's what you mean by transition.
Absolutely.
People are selling out. Who were you mentioned? You said look at the labeling.
Well, when you look at the labeling on products that used to say Black-owned product, now the labeling will say woman-led or woman-owned. And that means that, they've taken majority funding from some source, and they're no longer to state the claim that they're Black-owned. And here's the thing, Dominique, I understand. I definitely understand. I started a juicing company a few
April's
years ago.
Life in a Bottle. Yes, we were going to get to that for sure. Yes.
Absolutely. And, I understand the challenges of scaling.
Right.
Scaling is difficult.
Right. So if Jeff Bezos comes to you and he says he wants to buy April's Life in a bottle and scale it up, that's tempting.
And the answer is absolutely not. But anyway, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm enjoying learning how to scale, Dominique. And for me, the success is in the journey. And I don't have to. Everybody across the country doesn't have to have a bottle of April's Life in a bottle. I would like for everybody in the greater Los Angeles area, however, to have a bottle of April's Life in a bottle, because, trying to deliver fresh, raw, unpasteurized, delicious goodness to Montana tomorrow is a bit difficult. So I'd have to do something to the product to alter it, and then that takes away the freshness, and it robs, the customer of some of the natural benefits. So anyway, but back to hair.
Well, kind of, sort of. I mean, I want to follow the thread of what you said, which is that, some of the products we think are Black-owned are not Black-owned anymore. Do you want to name any names?
I don't want to name any names, actually, because I respect everybody's choice.
Right.
Everyone has to make a choice for themselves. And here's the other thing. When I was the general manager of Simply Wholesome, and we would introduce a new product, and it would sell like hotcakes, and then we'd be out of stock for several weeks or several months until the owner would be able to amass the funds necessary to get the raw ingredients, the jarring, blah, 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 to bring product to market. There's cash flow issues. There's supply chain issues.
Right.
And now because of COVID, and even the aftermath of COVID, there's still supply chain issues that really impact businesses. So I understand individuals need to do what they need to do for themselves, for their family, for their businesses. And I understand, they're still getting the product out there. I just wish that we could come together as a people and maybe help each other scale, maybe find a way to help each other grow to the level that you're interested in growing to, because I believe that there are entities along the way in terms of distribution, in terms of supplies that we can affiliate ourselves with and align ourselves with so we can grow and scale and maybe not have to completely sell majority of our businesses to others
absolutely.
for the money.
Absolutely. We've seen it time and time again in many, many different kinds of business models. My thing, we're starting off talking about hair because you're one of the premier experts in the country. And I feel like there has been progress, not just in the fact that we have more Black-owned products now, some of them, as you just mentioned, being sold, but also that there's much more acceptance of different styles. I know it's still an issue. We had to have a whole Crown Act, but there's more acceptance of different styles, of changing styles. And even though the wigs have been ruling the crown for the past 10 years or so, they haven't edged out, pun intended, they haven't edged out the other natural styles. Do you think that's right? I mean, is there more? Do we have more options now?
I think the options are greater for sure, particularly with the younger generation. When I look at the millennials, they seem to be able to be very flexible. I guess they're very fluid in their hairstyle choices. Right. One day you'll see someone in twists. The next day you'll see someone in braids. Day 4, you'll see someone in a wig. And day 5, they just may have Nubian knots or something. I'm very pleased to see that. I'm really happy that people know they have choice. And so you can do whatever's comfortable for you. And the other thing, Dominique, is I think that this opens us up to a better quality of life. Because remember, for me growing up, you couldn't get your hair wet. So if you got your hair pressed in the summertime, well, the pools are open. But if your mother just sent you to the beauty shop or just spent hours pressing your hair in that kitchen, you better not get your hair wet and get it, have it revert back. So then that eliminated and restricted your summer pleasure in terms of learning how to swim and going to the beach and all those types of
walking
activities.
In the rain.
I know that
doing things that make you sweat. I'm just saying.
Absolutely. All those types of things. But now we have the opportunity to enjoy and embrace all the things that we want to do. My mother can't swim, and so I've been looking into programs for her at our local pool so she can get some water activities in, but she's a little bit afraid of the water. Yeah. But she was one of those who couldn't get her hair wet.
I mean, between us not getting our hair wet and the discrimination around, the whole idea of swimming pools, a lot of Black folks can't swim. But hopefully we are changing that now. When we come forward, April Sims, I want to get your advice for Miles, who's transitioning his hair right now, and other folks. He's transitioning from shorter to longer, but other folks that are going from natural to a more press and curl or a relaxer to natural, or the other way around. And changes of seasons, transitioning our hair can be an issue. And April knows a thing or two about that in terms of products, how we should be treating it, what we might be thinking about nutritionally. Hint, April's Life in a Bottle. All that's next on KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When is the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
At Susan G. Komen, we believe that ending breast cancer needs all of us working together.
Because if you've just been diagnosed and don't know where to turn, we've got you. If you can't afford the treatment you need, we've got you. And if you are driven to honor the loved one you've just lost, we have a place for you here. Because of you, we're supporting those who need help today while tirelessly searching for tomorrow's cures. Visit Komen.org and be a part of our Susan G. Komen community today.
A sense of peace, a place to kick back and put down roots, a lasting legacy. However you define home, at City National, we're committed to helping you get there with our City National Ladder Up Home Loan Program. Find the full benefits at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National Bank, here for our clients and communities. Ladder Up program is available only in select areas. Terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS ID 536994.
Hey, nacho fries are back at Taco Bell, and there's even more fries to love. But they're not going to hang around forever, so don't wait. Or you might miss out on these hot, crisp fries covered in all those bold Mexican spices with delicious nacho cheese sauce. Or wait and just settle for flavorless fries. Regular, bland, spiceless, flavorless, flimsy, non-nacho fries. Just an absolute bummer of a fry.
Nacho fries are back. Get them today, only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact a local store for hours and participation which vary.
King C. Gillette knows you're dedicated to your barbershop routine. But what about after? What's your routine for facial hair to avoid dry skin, itching, and beard rough? Well, the King C. Gillette Beard Oil is the perfect fit for making your beard feel as good as it looks. It softens your facial hair and moisturizes to help prevent itch due to dry skin. Get facial hair that feels as good as it looks. Just trim, wash, and soften with King C. Gillette. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, indeed. You're also waking up with April Sims. Her company is April's Life in a Bottle. Fresh, cold pressed with love juices. They for those in LA, you can find them at Earl's Grill. They have them. And Hot and Cool Cafe, do they still have them? One of the reasons I said hint April's Life in a Bottle is because I had been told by my stylist that drinking fresh juices, fresh vegetable juices, would help grow your hair. And I didn't pay any attention, but then I went on this juice cleanse thing, and lo and behold, my hair started growing. So I'm a big believer in that now.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Dominique. And the other spot that you can get them locally in the community is New Earth, Dr. Goss's, the late, great Dr. Goss's spot in Compton, 523 West Compton Boulevard. We all believe in recycling our dollars in our communities and supporting our businesses, particularly those businesses that support us. So shout out to Earl's Grill as well as the great folks over at Hot and Cool Cafe. But the Jerry's juice, Dominique, is a hands-down, overall great juice designed for us specifically, meaning people that have melanated skin, and it is excellent for promoting healthy hair and skin.
And that's one of the flavors of your juice, not a whole different company.
That is one of my varieties. I have about 10 different varieties of the juices, but the Jerry's juice specifically, and that would be good for the brothers and the sisters, And particularly because you talked about the change of season, because we're going into the cold and flu season, and they say that the thing may be coming back around, the Jerry's juice also has a lot of fresh turmeric, and turmeric is excellent to support a healthy immune system. So, you can kill a lot of birds with one stone with one bottle of Jerry's juice, and it's also very, very good for regulating high blood pressure or blood sugar levels, as well as being anti-inflammatory. So for those aches and pains that we get, particularly during the change of seasons, the Jerry's juice is an excellent addition to your diet.
Okay, back to Miles being in Miles' business. Let's start with that simple thing. I'm going to grow my hair out. I'm going from a short cut as a man to something else. I don't know what that something else is going to be. Maybe a long afro or some twists or locks. What advice do you give?
Oh, my goodness. For Miles or for anyone in that situation, there's an excellent, well, first of all, healthy diet, plenty of rest, drinking lots of water. I know one of my teachers, Brother Tabiti, talks about drinking at least a gallon of water a day. I have a water bottle that's a 32-ounce water bottle, and I just fill it up 4 times a day. And by the end of the day, I just hope that it's empty. So that's just one good thing. Dominique, one thing that I like to do is I like to lay on my bed with my on my stomach, scoop myself to the edge of the bed, and just let my head hang down and let the blood flow reverse going towards my head. Something as simple as just increasing the blood flow to their scalp helps the follicles. Doing little fingertip massaging on the head also helps stimulate the follicle area. But for Miles or anybody else, a product, if you wanted to use something that was natural, that wasn't too heavy, that you'd get absolutely no buildup and no flaking, and it keeps the hair moist, which would be the mother's Mama Sunshine's Mud Whip. That's a nice leave-in conditioner. It is used on dry hair, so you don't have to have your hair wet, and you can put it in lightly. If you want to twist it that day, you can use it to twist. If you just want to enhance your natural curl pattern, you can use it for that. And I use it also for retwisting my locks. So that's a great all-around product that you can use to maintain just the natural moisture level. And for those of us that are skiers or that are going back east that are exposed to more inclement weather and you need something a little bit heavier that will do the same thing, but you really need to give yourself a little more of a heavier coverage, I would recommend the Makiba line. She has a product called Babasu Bliss, and that is also a moisture and styling cream. And these are both products that are made for us, by folk who generated the products either out of their salon or out of a need for themselves.
So Mama Sunshine's Mud Whip for a lighter application, or Makiba, the Makiba line Babasu Bliss are two that you would recommend. I feel like in the summer my hair does dry out, Maybe it's because I'm, doing so many things to it. I'm braiding it, I'm pressing, curling it, I'm wanting it to go back natural. I put color on it. I got a whole lot going on. So it sounds like you believe in that sort of a deep conditioner or letting oil stay on the hair for it to hydrate the hair.
Well, both of these products I do, but these are butters.
Okay.
So oils. I know I was raised in the area of grease oils, right? Where you wash your hair, you part it, you grease your scalp down every Friday night when you go to your grandmother's house and you have fried fish. Right? Everybody gets that blue grease or that green jar, that blue jar, and they all had that pink comb. So on the oils, Dominique, I use the oils very sparingly now. I will use just put some oils on my hand, smush it around, and just lightly go over my entire hair, maybe once or twice a week. But these butters, the butters that I'm talking about, are better for me, in my opinion, are better for moisturizing the hair. Yes, so using for like a daily conditioner, I think that's a lot better than just straight oils. Oil sometimes cause cloggage of the pores, allows flaking to happen, sometimes build up on the scalp that would turn into dandruff. So we want to use the oils, sparingly.
Good to know. It's so funny. We have so many habits like that. I was talking to a friend about how we only have a minute here, but folks like to use Vaseline on their skin. That's just like a black thing, but that's actually a petroleum product made out of the same thing you use to run your car. And you might be better off with the shea butter or some kind of oil, or I don't know what the real substitution is, but you don't want to put petroleum products on your skin, no matter how long it keeps it shiny.
No matter. And, we all had that big jar of that petroleum product that we used from head to toe back in the day. So, no, we don't. We want to use things. And I'm also really happy, Dominique, that now, because of the Internet, because of our, our freedom to define us, define who we are, right, and not be defined by others, we also are sharing with them amongst ourselves things that we use and things that are finding things that are better for us, like shea butter. I didn't grow up using shea butter, but my daughter did.
Right, me neither. Whatever it is, shea butter, almond butter, avocado oil, I know you just have to experiment until you find something that's not something you would run your car with, i.e. petroleum products. News, traffic, and sports, and then we'll have more conversation with April. If you have a question or some conversation, you're invited in always. KBLA, Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. California U.S. Senator LaFonza Butler says she will not be running for re-election. Butler became the third black woman to become a senator when she was appointed to fill the seat of the late Dianne Feinstein. The field of candidates for the seat is already wide, with political heavyweights and lesser-knowns alike on the ballot. A Maryland judge has been shot to death outside of his own home. The Washington County Sheriff's Office says Circuit Court Judge Andrew Wilkinson was shot Thursday night in his driveway in Hagerstown. Sheriff's deputies say the 52-year-old judge was found suffering from gunshot wounds and died later at the hospital. No information was provided about a possible suspect, and the case remains an active homicide investigation. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
$10 says your local Staples now accepts Amazon returns. Now when you return an Amazon order at Staples, you receive a coupon for $10 off your next Staples purchase of $30 or more. Exclusions apply. Staples, your new favorite place for Amazon returns.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
In case you didn't know, there's a high school in South LA called Maya Angelou High School. The school, built in 2011, is named after the legendary author, poet, and civil rights activist. Maya Angelou's football team is 8-0. They're closing in on the first undefeated regular season in school history and a spot in the City Division II playoffs. Maya Angelou goes for 9-0 tonight at Sotomayor. NFL owners gave Commissioner Roger Goodell a 3-year extension. That should give him more than enough time to keep working on the NFL's sad hiring practices of black head coaches. Only 3 of the NFL's 32 teams have a black head coach. Revenge game tomorrow for USC. The Trojans play Utah at the Coliseum. Utah beat the Trojans in last season's Pac-12 title game. The loss knocked the Trojans out of the college football playoffs. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Happy birthday, Metro K-Line. Whether traveling for business or pleasure, it's time you made today a K-Line day. The K-Line can connect you with fun, food, friends, and family from Crenshaw to Inglewood in one safe, clean, comfortable ride. Take the K-Line today and experience the diversity that makes LA such a great place to live, work, and play. Make it a K-Line day. Go Metro. Visit metro.net/K-Line.
Do you have both Medi-Cal and Medicare?
If so, the new LA Care plan called Medicare Plus can help you get the most out of your health plan for $0.
LA Care provides personalized service to Angelinos like us.
Plus, it gives us access to doctors and specialists across Los Angeles County.
For zero cost, we get access to full benefits.
From vision coverage,
in-home support services,
to prescription drug coverage,
and a quarterly over-the-counter allowance.
Plus personal equipment,
meal programs,
a gym membership,
and so much more.
For more than 25 years,
LA Care has provided Angelinos with access to quality health care at an affordable cost.
For our families,
our seniors,
our community,
it's a plus.
It's a plus
for all of us.
What's up? I'm Danelle Riley, FAMU alumni and creator of the HBCU Culture Shop. I am so proud of my new partnership with Black Beyond Measure and Target. They help me elevate community pride with my HBCU designs and continue to support Black creators and entrepreneurs with Target HBCU challenges, scholarship programs, and campus collaborations. Let's come together this homecoming season and beyond. Shop my brand and discover other Black-owned products at target.com/blackbeyondmeasure.
Find a righteous rage and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
And I'm so happy to have with me this morning April Sims. She is the proprietor of April's Life in a Bottle. She's also one of the top experts. She's helped launch many a natural hair product line as an entrepreneur, but also as a longtime expert on these things, natural hair products. You know, all the folks that do the hair and things, the braiders and lockers and makers of potions that keep us healthy. You mentioned getting blood to our heads by maybe standing on our head or hanging over the bed, letting the hair hang down, not putting too many oils and things that clog the scalp, maybe doing some massage or other little stimulating touch for our hair. What about all the pulling? I mean, I know the ponytails and tight braids and the wigs, they take a toll on our hairline, right?
Absolutely, Dominique. And the truth of the matter is excessive pulling just simply isn't good, period, full stop. When you pull your hair back, you feel that tension. And I know even for myself, when I'm doing a lot of concentrated work and I don't want my locks hanging in my face, I'll, put my hair up. But I found that lately when I'm putting my hair up, I use a very, very loose tie, and I don't pull it tight, because pulling it tight gives me a headache, right? So I can imagine when someone has, particularly when they're getting their hair braided, and you see those little white, looks like little bulbs all around someone's edges, that's really the follicle.
Pulling
That's the follicle of the hair that has been pulled out, absolutely. And over time, people lose those edges. Over time, someone's hairline literally goes from, being close to the top of the head to going back further and further. And it causes a lot of discomfort for people, Dominique, honestly, a lot of embarrassment, feelings of sadness around that loss. And there are things that you can do, some people, to regain those edges, but you really should not do excessive pulling. That can't be stressed enough, honestly.
All right, we have...
But sometimes for the style, we need it, for that look, you're going to be fine for that night, go for it.
Right, just not long term. We got some folks that have questions for you. Let's go to Fahamisha calling us from Los Angeles. You're on with April Sims, and welcome.
Good morning. I don't so much have a question as I just really wanted to throw a shout out to April because she has dedicated so much time to the community for just uplifting their health. And April's Life in a Bottle, Ginger Lemonade, Jerry's Juice have been my favorites, and they have really helped me with my mind, body, spirit, and wellness. And I just think that her heart and her spirit and commitment to the community, not just about hair, but mind, body, spirit, through everything she puts her life into is just amazing. I just wanted to give her a shout out.
I love that.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Fa. Thank you.
And here's the thing. It's kind of on a theme that we have going on around here this morning, which is that the sisterhood is real, right? Whether you're 13 or 88, we don't see it advertised. We don't see it promoted, but Black women helping Black women, uplifting and supporting one another is an everyday thing in my life. And I know it is in yours, April, because you've helped so many of us.
It certainly is. And here's the thing. This wasn't planned, right? So look how spirit just works. Fa also has a line. Fa is a wonderful jewelry maker, and she has Fa's Rare Accents, and she makes beautiful jewelry. And so here again, another sister promoting another sister.
Wow. I will have to connect. Maybe we can get Fahamisha on our Wealth Building Wednesday. Right now, though, we're going to Deirdre. Deirdre calling us from Los Angeles. Good morning, Deirdre.
Good morning, Dominique. I just want to say I've tried April's Life in a Bottle. And April, thank you so much for the Village Green. I don't know what you do to that.
You're welcome.
It just helped my digestive system. It's just been so much better with the Village Greens, and I just love it. And I want to know, are there other juices? What other compounds do you have, to cleanse, or do you have any other ideas for that?
Girl, yes, I need to do a cleanse. And I love that. The Village Green is one of April's products on her April's Life in a Bottle line. It has the chlorophyll, which is basically plant blood, which oxygenates the body and the scalp and everything else. It's a wonderful, wonderful juice. One of my favorite ones that she has. And so, I'm sure she can share with you. I think we've lost April. We'll get her back on the line momentarily. I'm sure she can share with you that great question of what are some of the things we can do for a cleanse. But I would think that the April's Life in a Bottle would be one aspect of that because of the chlorophyll that's in there, Deidre. I'm getting ready to do a cleanse. I was talking with my friend McCoy Zeno, and I think he's got me convinced to go ahead and do the hardcore Dr. Goss new body cleanse. We'll see. Maybe I'll do it next week. Whew, I need it. But yeah, we'll get that info for you from April. I know celery juice is great for weight loss, is great for stress. I know cucumber helps with hair. Continuing the conversation, all things hair and health with April of April's Life in a Bottle when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Maisha Cairo here for KBLA Talk 1580. We're live in Los Angeles at JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. And I'm speaking to some of the attendees today to see why it was so important for them to be here.
Yeah, this is Lathan and Tyler. Main reason that's very important for me to be here is just to leave a legacy for my kids. Black wealth, generational wealth is what we need in our community, Oh, Chase, someone has to take the lead. They're showing, big business like Chase cares, and, they're putting their money where their mouth is at, So it's good to see, big institution like Chase, giving a lifting hand, to the community. And, you got to respect that. It makes me want to bank with Chase and, give them, another look if I go to another institution. I actually see what Chase is doing for the community.
That's right. Chase is doing their part to help advance black wealth. For more money support, tune in every day from 12 to 2 to KBLA Talk 1580's Midday Money Chain, right here.
Walk to save lives. Join the American Heart Association's Los Angeles Heart and Stroke Walk, Sunday, October 22nd at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Team up with friends and family and walk to end heart and stroke. Every step you take and every dollar raised will help save lives and make our community a healthier place for all. Learn more and sign up for free at heartwalkla.org. Sponsored by Optum, UCLA Health, Providence, Keck Medicine of USC, and Dignity Health.
The Green Foundation, key health influencer, empowering our Black communities through action. The Green Foundation advocates for affordable health care, accessibility, and knows the importance of culturally relatable health care. Regardless of income, we believe it is a right for optimum health. The Green Foundation has been at the forefront for 25 years, dedicated solely to promoting prevention through early detection, annual screenings, and nutrition. We know you because we are you. Our hand-holding approach supports you and your family to receive your right to be treated fairly and receiving quality healthcare services. We want you and your family to know COVID-19 was devastating to our families and to our wallet. We can build back better by understanding prevention, wearing your mask, washing your hands, social distancing, and understanding the impact of long COVID. Get the care you deserve. Take advantage of your privileges. Contact us, info@thegreenfoundation.net. info@thegreenfoundation.net.
Discover, this is Danny.
Hi, it's Jen Coolidge. I just want to thank you for making me feel so special. I earned cash back on debit for my dinner party groceries.
That's great. But with Discover Cashback Debit, we give everyone cash back on everyday purchases. Anything else I can help you with?
Are you hungry? 'Cause everyone left after the asparagus sorbet.
Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a checking account with cash back. It pays to Discover. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashbackdebit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look, and unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at the gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
We're not for everybody, but we're for everybody. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
April is back. April's Life in a Bottle, also one of our top experts on not just marketing, not just juicing, but also natural hair care. Deidre wanted to know about cleansing, what to do to cleanse, if any of your other juice products are good for that, or if you have any recommendations. And it's funny because I am definitely ready for a cleanse after my travels and personal losses. I feel like it's time to cleanse.
Absolutely, and I want to thank Deidre for her call, and I did hear her reference the Village Green Drink, and she mentioned digestive issues as well as cleansing. And I wanted to recommend for her the pineapple, turmeric, lemon, ginger drink. One of the reasons why the Village Green Drink has been working for her is because of the ginger. The ginger mixed with that chlorophyll is excellent for settling the stomach as well as cleansing the blood. The chlorophyll is a great blood purifier, and it helps to remove the plaque out of the bloodstream. That also helps with that brain fog that we get in the mornings, or for people that may be experiencing, early onset signs of forgetfulness. And just a shout out to Mama Jewel, the legendary Jewel from The Catch. the Village Green drink, she graciously gave me her recipe for that one. So that is my only drink that is not my own unique recipe. Just wanted to give her some love. But the pineapple, turmeric, lemon, ginger would be a great addition for Deirdre's cleansing regimen, as well as for you, Dominique. You might want to try that as well because that has the fresh pineapple juice, the fresh turmeric juice, fresh lemon juice, as well as the ginger juice. All natural, helps with the blood sugar level, so it's not going to spike blood sugar for people that may be borderline diabetic. I would just suggest that maybe they would drink half a bottle and add water to their drink. But that will be good, as well as, again, the Jerry's juice because of those beets. And then I have a delicious combination that's called orange, carrot, beet, ginger, lemon. Orange, carrot, pineapple, ginger. And that's also a great addition, particularly for one on a cleansing regimen. And for you, Dominique, because you can take the hardcore, straight-up, no-chaser drink, is my hot greens. The hot greens is a special drink that there's no added sugar, there's nothing sweet in it, and it is a straight green drink, but that is probably the best drink I make for cleansing purposes. So I'll make sure to get you some bottles when you're ready for your cleanse.
Those of us who are hardcore have taught ourselves to just drink stuff because we need to. Thanks.
And it's good for you.
And it's great for us. Yeah, and the thing about a lot of like hardcore greens, I notice too, it does make your skin look better. I mean, it really, when I do it for, Miles will tell you, I'm in here drinking some nasty juices sometimes in the morning. First thing, it clears up my skin and clears like you said, clears the brain. April from LA wants to talk to April from LA. Hi, other April from LA.
Good morning. Good morning. Wanted to call in and celebrate this April sisterhood with my girl. She has helped me so much in the business and helping me launch my business, AB Tonics. I use the Village Green drink in one of my CMOS blends, green machine, and it's one of our top sellers. It's an amazing community that I have here with April. She has really helped restore my hope in our sisterhood here in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the love, Sister April.
And that's real talk. I mean, everyone, you got fans, April. April Sims, you have fans. I'm one of them. I think it's a testament to the work that you've done, as a healer, as an entrepreneur, but also as an activist. I mean, we started off talking a little bit about your activism. So even though I promise hair tips and we're giving some, how does that fuel your, you as a whole healer, as a businesswoman, this commitment that you have to social activism?
Dominique, the truth of the matter is I love my people. I love us, period. My father's motto was, I care and I share. And the motto for April's Life in a Bottle is my motto now. We care and we share. And that's just the truth. I want to help. I want to be an advocate for change. I have literally a life-size poster in my bedroom of Harriet Tubman, Queen Mother. I have another poster, a smaller poster of her somewhere else in my room. I look at myself as a modern-day warrior. I want to live my life daily knowing and feeling that she would be proud of my walk. I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. I believe that there's literally enough for all of us. And if we have some knowledge or information that would benefit each other, we should share it with each other. I know that one of the things that really makes me feel good is to hear a call from like Sister April. Sister April and I have been sisters for a long time, and we just naturally formed a relationship, and she would ask questions, and we would do give and take, and she also did the Nappy Wood event, and so it was just wonderful just to hear her voice this morning. being isolated in my kitchen, oftentimes I don't get a chance to see as many people as I used to, and that's why I'm really excited about being part of the Ujima Food Collective because, Dominique, the reality is we are isolated and we live in food deserts and food insecure areas. There's not a lot of food justice for us, honestly. And our diets, when we look at as we age, everybody in your family has arthritis or everyone in your family has high blood pressure. Well, it's because of the things that we eat. I'm 62, and I'm now making a concerted effort to change my diet.
Not that yours has been so bad all along. I mean, you're always been mindful as long as I've known you.
That is true. However, there's also things that I know that I need to tighten up on and quell and stop doing. And so I am transitioning to, a plant-based diet, 100%. I'm not, I guess 100, sort of 90%. I'm not going to make myself crazy. However, I don't want to end up, like my grandparents. I don't want to have hypertension. I don't want to have arthritis. I want to be able to have my eyesight. I want to retain my hair. I want my memory to stay intact. Alzheimer's runs long, deep, and wide in my family. Me, myself, and my offspring carry that gene, and I'm determined none of us are going to develop Alzheimer's.
Right.
Because we are making changes to our diet, and it is a must. We must love ourselves, Dominique, at the end of the day.
So I mean, so just circling back to this idea of our crowns. I mean, honestly, all of the things that we do, whether, like you said, every major stylist I've interviewed has said, you got to drink more water, right?
Yep.
And eating the leafy greens. And you talk about dementia, which is such an epidemic now in our country, and Alzheimer's, whether you have a family history or not. It's the cold-pressed coconut oil, the ginkgo biloba, right? The gotu kola, ashwagandha, all of these are herbs that are meant to help. But it's interesting to me how all of these things that we do to preserve our brains, our bodies, our memory, they also help the crown. Is that right?
Absolutely. They most certainly do. When I told you about that you're a great candidate for my hot greens juice, that hot greens juice is one of the best things that you can do because it has all the fresh greens, cucumbers, celery, kale, chlorophyll, and the chlorophyll is sourced from alfalfa, as well as serrano chili peppers. Green is life. And remember, those have the color association. Red is for the blood, right? Yellow's for circulation, and green is for life. So life in, life out. We must fortify our bodies and be very particular about what you put on your crown, because think about how close your head is to your brain.
Yeah.
Right? So putting chemicals on that scalp, there's a direct line to the brain.
I mean, honestly, when I heard that, Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley was moving to push the FDA to ban formaldehyde in relaxers, it made me think about this idea that so many of us have, poisoned ourselves without really knowing it, in the name of beauty. And, my pledge to myself to try not to put things on my skin that I wouldn't put in my mouth.
Absolutely. And I have really struggled with that as a woman, right? I enjoy dyeing my hair. I liked having blonde hair. I liked having, a lighter color hair because my hair was always so dark. And because my hair is so dark, natural products just won't lift the color. And I've made the choice to stop dyeing. And so now I'm embracing the gray. And I got to tell you, as a sister, it is difficult. It's been a serious challenge for me to embrace the gray. Some days I'm successful at it, and other days I'm not.
So now this is a nut because of the chemical composition. I mean, speaking of things I put on, I dye my hair. It's a lovely whatever color it is right now today, between the sun and the dye. I'm not ready to embrace my gray. I'm sorry, April. You're a braver woman than I. But is that a health choice for you, or is it a spiritual choice?
No, it was a health choice, Dominique. It was definitely a health choice, and it was also partially spiritual, because my line is April's Life in a Bottle, and my juices are raw, natural, and unpasteurized. I have not altered them at all, and I want to be a representative. I want to be the best representative of my line, and so I want to be in one with my product line, and it's a growth opportunity for me, Dominique.